All right. Well, this is everyone for tonight. So without further ado, this is episode 12 of Reddit Talks Clash, where we, the moderators, get together to highlight some of our favorite posts over the last couple weeks that have come through the community. We want to engage with you guys a little more directly, so leave some questions in the comments below, and we'll circle back to them. We got some exciting events coming up and some update talk, which is always making for an exciting episode. How are you guys feeling tonight?
I'm great. I am ready to talk about my event and the balance changes. Rick is going to analyze them, hopefully.
Sam is out on a hot date tonight, we understand. Not sure how much more information we can disclose than that, but believe it or not,
Yep.
Clash of Clans is not exclusive to dating. You can do both.
Yeah, you can get married, you can have kids, playing Clash, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Is your kid old enough to like play along and poke your screen with you?
He's old enough to definitely mess up a war attack, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, they start that really early.
Not old enough to grasp what's happening on the screen yet, but the colors are getting more interesting.
I know. I let my kid play Builder Base. She calls it playing Blue Guy because the battle machine has a blue background. She just likes to hit the power as it turns back on, and she can deploy baby drags. They mostly go in a line. But it's something.
I think that's the perfect entry level for a kid growing up. Get him in that.
Pretty much.
You don't even want to play over there anyway. Can't mess anything up. Well, let's move over to talk about the event, Spencer. We can start off there.
Sure.
We'll spend a lot of time on the update, but I think the event's a little more straightforward, right?
Yeah, we can start with the event. Our Reddit events are back. We are going to start off with a war event. This is our first event in, I think, over a year. And the war event is called 1 minute, 30-second retreat. Anyone could do it who is a Town Hall 13 and above. And the rules are simple. After a minute and 30 seconds into attack, you must surrender. So you want to attack as fast as you can, get those 2 stars if you can, maybe even a 3-star, and get a high percentage. And
If they don't surrender in time, is there a penalty?
Yes, if they don't surrender, we are going to invalidate the attack, and it will not count towards their score.
Okay, that's fair.
So I know we did this. I participated in it. I wasn't running it. It was probably 2 years ago now, and it was really fun.
Oh wow!
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it helps. It really helps to have a spotter if you can hop on voice on the Reddit events Discord server, which Spence will drop a link into. And then I'll add to the.
With time, that would be how I would miss it. Just realizing.
But then also, if you haven't ever used a spotter on voice, you have to understand there's still a delay. So you got to tell them, you got to give people a heads up, early, probably 5 seconds early, because by the time,
I think the delay is 3 seconds. Is that right?
Yeah, roughly. So, like
give or take.
It definitely helps to have a spotter. And then the other thing too is if you disconnect, the entire attack plays out. So you're probably gonna have that one not count anyway. But it was fun. It's you really have to focus on getting that 2-star quick, and then as much percent as you possibly can. Probably gonna see a lot of ring bases, I would bet.
Should we discuss any potential strategies for this?
Yeah, we had one comment saying it's just going to be E-drag spam. That's the best strategy.
I was thinking Super Bowlers.
Oh, really? I was thinking Super Dragons and Rage.
Super Bowlers take a lot of setup with a funnel. You really wouldn't want to spend a lot of time on a Warden Walk to get a low percent. But then also,
I was thinking if you remember the old bitch slap attacks, right? Bow whips.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just spam everything on one side and they kind of wrap around.
I'm thinking just
those are fast.
Like depending on the base, 4 quakes at least, just to open it up, and just as many rages and ground spam as you can manage. Or
you don't need the spell space for the back end.
Yeah,
There's no back end.
Oh, that's true.
Just, air spam would work too. The last time we did it, I don't believe super drags existed.
Yeah.
Super drags are an option too. Like I know. Even even after the nerfs, if you're going to 3 with Super Drags, it's going to be a fast 3. There's the Clone Moon kind of attacks.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what attacks
take
they
up
use.
so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, and then it's
Do you think
nice.
We'll see Annie Lalo?
Oh, Lalo's another one that is going to take a lot of
way
setup
too long,
to
right?
3-star.
Way too much setup.
You're probably
probably no queen walks.
Yeah, you're really not going for 3 here. You're going for a fast 2 with decent percent.
When do the signups drop?
Signups just opened last night at midnight, and they're going to be open for another 6 days until July 9th, I believe. And they're going to close, and they're going to start weight verification, and then the war will launch a week after that.
Is that pinned right now?
Yep, it's pinned
here.
There we go. Yeah, I'll add it to. Yeah, it is added to the talk.
Events are back. Link. Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, we haven't done a Reddit event in. There was one right when I first joined the mod team.
Right.
Yeah, but it's been over a year.
Yeah, we're gonna start trying to do an event every month.
That'd be great. I love that goal.
Yeah,
it was always Reddit versus the forums. So this is exciting to be getting back into it.
Yeah. How many people do you have on the event team there, Spence?
Our event team, I believe, is up to 9 or 10 people that are going to help run the event with us.
Are you looking for more?
If anyone wants to help out with the event, that's great. Go ahead and message me either on Reddit or on Discord, and we could talk about how you could help us out run the event. That would be great.
Can't hurt to have more hands on deck, as always.
And then, so down the line, what other kind of events are you guys looking at?
Our July event is the one we just spoke of. August, we're going to try to do a Clashversary event. Something to do. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. And then after that, September, we're gonna do a tournament, and I'll reveal what it is. We're gonna do it's called the Last Town Hall 14 tournament, because Town Hall 15 is projected to release around that time. So it's gonna be the last
jerks.
Yeah, it's the last Town Hall 14 tournament before Town Hall 15, and it's gonna be fun. And then
that's cool.
October, a Clash Halloween event. November is open. We don't have an event planned yet. Still brainstorming. December, a Clashmas event. And then all the way in March, I do have another war event planned, but I'm not going to reveal what it is yet. So it's going to be fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like I've missed doing like Reddit events for a while, and I don't know. I'm really glad you guys are getting this going again.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm going to contact some streamers, too, see if some streamers want to stream the event live on Twitch or YouTube.
Fun.
And that could give a lot of the members a spotlight. If they do really well, the streamers could review their attacks and really showcase their skill.
So if you guys are interested in participating in the event, link down below. If you want to help out on the management side of it, join the event team, or even stream it, you know how to get a hold of us on ModMail or through the Events Are Back post there. There are links there, too, to get involved. We'd love to have as many hands on deck as possible.
Yeah, let's hit the elephant in the room, the June update.
Yeah.
Such a huge update.
Save the balance changes for last, right? So you want to start with Clan Capital?
Yep, let's start with that.
Let's look at that.
So I know
How's the Capital been going for you guys? Let's just talk about where we're at first in the Clan Capital.
My clan is we're about to max out. Our Builders Workshop is our last district we have unlocked right now. We have not unlocked Dragon Cliff, so I think that's Capital Hall 5. I'm not entirely sure. And we're about to max
the general
out.
Breakdown of your clan?
My clan is at 50 members. We have about, I want to say, 20 Town Hall 14s. And then it's about spread out all the way down to Town Hall 10. Only a few Town Hall 10s, though. But we're a pretty private, social clan. Very casual play, though. We're not very competitive. And because we're a bunch of old people, it's really funny. We have like 50-year-olds in there.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah. Our clan's not that different, really. So you said you're almost to Dragon Cliffs?
Yeah, we're maxing out the previous stages right now, and we're going to hit Dragon Cliffs probably in a few weeks.
So how's your clan enjoyed the Capital so far? Has it been something that's brought you guys together and been made you guys more active?
Yeah, so a lot of our members participate a lot, and they look forward to the raid weekends and using the raid medals. But I did notice our older members have not even utilized the clan capital at all, or haven't even attacked yet. It's really funny.
Yeah.
They have
I could
zero
see how if you were
contributes.
already maxed, then it would be like a little bit less enticing to be involved with it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I call them out in chat like, hey, do you want to check out the clan capital? And they're like, oh, that looks like too much to do. I just want to play home village. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. You can do that. That's fine. But yeah.
Oh, they're missing out. It's pretty simple, but they'll come around eventually. Right?
Yeah, hopefully. Definitely, yeah.
Rick, same questions for you. Where are you guys at? How's the clan enjoying it?
So we are, I looked today, we're like 200 buildings off of Capitol Hall 8. So we have everything unlocked.
We're very close to you guys. Let me see.
Yeah.
We're within a couple buildings, I think. We're 178 right now.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
yeah,
like everything's unlocked. We got a bunch of level 4 stuff, some 1 level off max on a lot of those troops. It's a mix of, level 4 to level 2 districts. Yeah, but man, like it feels like we just hit a massive wall with progression. Like we moved up through the district so fast, and there was, every raid weekend there was something new to learn and fun, and like we're constantly unlocking new stuff. And now it's just like brick wall, and I don't see a light I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for getting through all this. It's just 200 buildings, and they're all several 100,000 capital gold.
Oh yeah.
And this raid weekend already kind of feels like a slog. I don't know what it's going to be like a month from now, which has kind of been my fear all along with Capitol Hall, is because I love it. I have a ton of fun, and I still enjoy it.
Us too.
And it's just like looking at it and what it is and what the rewards are and how it's structured. I don't know how long that's going to last. And it was, I don't know, like we're, I think, in that transition zone to where we need something new. Like the balance changes that we just got a couple days ago are a little nice, but I don't know. Like it needs something more.
Yeah.
Clan Capital
I know where you're coming from. I feel like we're in a really similar position, right? Like we're kind of in that Town Hall 9 grind of the Clan Capital right now. Where in Town Hall 9, all those hero levels get introduced and you just hit this wall for a while. And I think similarly, this is like our wall to grind right now, getting through this next part, because you don't have enough camp space yet to really use the Golem effectively, which is the most fun troop,
Yeah,
so
Mountain Golem's fun.
Just feel a little bit underpowered, or at least that's our experience right now.
Yeah. So I know the Mountain Golem just got a buff specifically to make it a little more viable at lower levels. So I haven't used it this weekend yet. I haven't done many raids. I know the purpose behind that one was to make it a little more viable at early levels and lower levels, but it takes up such a huge amount of your space,
right?
To where it
feels like all the attacks right now are just difficult.
Sneaky archers are good. Yeah, like, and it's such an uninteresting way to attack. But
I agree.
It's hard to get away from it because you kind of have to. You have these massive, huge defenses, the rocket artillery and the giant expo, whatever it's called, and even with ground troops, the big mega cannon, whatever it is, those are all really strong stuff.
Some percentage, like you might leave some percentage on the table if you're not using sneaky archers primarily right now. But what I've been trying to do anyway is try to plan like a specific attack unique to the situation that I'm presented with, right? But then I always have a rage and a group of sneaky archers at the end, so I can end that attack with rage sneaky archers and start the next one under a rage.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's one of the things that's what I was trying to do when I'm hitting
that way. It's still fun,
Yeah. So I'll use mostly all sneaky archers, a couple of the wall breaker barbs, whatever they're called. I don't even know. And then I'll basically just pick off a ton of huts and buildings and hopefully some key defenses, and then I'm not use my spells, but at the very end when I have 1 or 2 archers left, I will drop a jump and a rage, and then the next attack I come in with giants and super whiz and raid carts, I think they're called. and just like that combo against certain bases just smashes.
Oh yeah. Well, Too Smart for You just asked what we're talking about right now. We're sharing our experience with the Clan Capital so far. So now let's talk about what the game has done, what Supercell with Clash has done to address the first update at Clan Capital. So I think to kind of help out people who have not fully taken to it yet, the headline feature they put in is a message that says when your army camp's not full. That way you can't actually initiate your attack without full housing space for your capital army.
Yeah, which is nice.
Small quality life feature, you know?
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
It had tripped people up in previous weeks too. When you get back and you're like, hey, why did you attack with we finished 4 camps, you know, between last week and this week.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I didn't even notice. So it's nice that they don't allow it. I think there were some weird interactions with spells that might have been addressed in the optional update.
Oh, well, maybe we'll get there. I don't know, but I think that's a good quality life feature for the more casual clans, and even for me, because I'm guilty of going without a full camp from time to time. You know, so the next thing they put in is a Clan Capital profile tab, where enemy clans you can actually go view them through your raid weekend. Kind of a nice way to actually check out the other clans. I appreciate that anyway. I always like spying on the other clans. After that, Builder Potion Forge activation was changed, so now you can use your Builder Potions right from the Forge and Home Village.
That's nice.
It's kind of late for me, you know? I think I've already burned, I don't know how many, like 100 of them in the last, since it came out, and I'm kind of out of Builder Potions for a while. So we'll see.
Yeah, I am.
I appreciate it all the same.
I'm bumping up against 2,500 CWL medals, so I'm just spending 30 at a time on
I had them all.
On Builder Potions.
I used all my CWL medals for Builder Potions when this came out, and
oh wow!
Now I'm building them back up.
Yeah, like, I know. I was looking at your I was looking at your profile. I'm like, man, Mac is dropping. I just kind of figured you were dropping money, and it never occurred to me that you might have burned.
No, I did all
2,500 CWL medal.
It was all CWL and Builder Potions. Not to say I didn't drop money. I love the new skins. I still haven't missed a skin.
Oh yeah.
You know, like they get their due as well. But Builder Potions are with a bang for your buck for you get your Clan Capital and move along. So moving on, Clan Capital District challenges are slightly different. You'll be able to use FCs even if you change your layout during the weekend. Is that what I understand? District 2's layouts were not modified during the Capital Raid weekend, will remain available for FCs.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they weren't, to be honest, but
it was
like
it's one of those things where it was disabled to kind of prevent cheating the same way there's a 24-hour cooldown with the war base. But they kind of wised up and said, hey, as long as you haven't changed it, there's no reason to put it in a cooldown, which is nice. But like raid weekends move so fast that like
they do.
Yeah, like
when do you guys open yours?
Immediately. Like
we usually wait till the afternoon, not for any reason. We're just usually working on our layouts.
I do it right at midnight.
Still.
Yeah, like there's always I mean I get up generally like 6 a.m. and it's always like we're on raid 2 or 3 by that point. So
oh wow. We just think it goes by so fast anyway, so we're never in a huge hurry to start it. And we just start it a little bit later.
I know, like
each his own.
Yeah, and I always feel like I don't want to do all my attacks Friday because I don't want it to be over. Yeah. Because like I
just drag our feet, like placing the new buildings and moving the layouts around, coming up to Friday, and it's like, guys, it's Friday, we have to do it.
I know.
Who's got what base? Let's go.
It feels weird, and it's probably not a popular opinion, but I think raid weekend is too long.
Ooh.
So
well, hopefully we get some reactions to that. Is raid weekend too long? Down in the comments, we can circle back to that one.
It's fun. It's fun, and I enjoy it. But if the goal is to force you to work together and like drop spells for the next clanmate to use it, it's not working out like that. It's 3 days. Everyone's just gonna spend their 6 attacks probably in a row, and just you hit the same base 2-3 times on their own and move on. And like no one, I think if you compress it,
and really you should play it that way. It turns out,
Yeah,
like that's really the best, like highest level way to play it is to just kind of run through it real quick.
Like I would, I almost want to say like you should not be allowed to attack the same district twice in a row, just to force you to communicate some kind
that
of
would be a
plan.
fun quality of life
However,
collaboration change.
it would come Sunday afternoon. It would make the capital unplayable if you're the last couple people.
Oh, that's
to
true.
do it. So I don't
Yeah.
know an intelligent way to do that, which is so I don't know. Like I love the idea of working together with your clanmates to do stuff. That's just not how it's working out in practice. And I think compressing the timeline so you don't have 72 hours to do 6 attacks that really don't take all that much planning and effort.
I was definitely hoping for a feature that was a little bit more like a raid in World of Warcraft or similar games like that, where you have to get a group together in one place to play it at that same time.
Yeah, it needs to be more meaningful too. Like raid medals are okay. Like I'm constantly running out of raid medals because I fill my own CC all the time because I'm impatient.
Yeah,
I'm not investing in defense, even though they did change it to where you get twice the amount of raid medals for defense now. It's still such a small percentage, and I don't know, like you're not losing anything else. Like I don't really care about defense. And we have a lot of people who enjoy the base building aspect of it. So we have cool and different bases that defend, but I don't watch them because I don't care.
Yeah, I've had a really good time experimenting a little bit with defense. What we did is I stole this from a Reddit user who I wish I could credit, but I don't remember. But I declared myself the mayor of the barbarian village, and that is my village to take care of. And I've been trying to encourage others, and it's happened a little bit here and there, to take on the title of mayor of their own village. That way someone's caring about the layouts, for each spot, and it's not all on one guy.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. So I think to address some of what you're talking about, I'll skip down just a little bit. Raid medals are now awarded based on the number of attacks the participant did, rather than just getting them for free. So that's a nice little upgrade there. And on top of that, didn't I see something about defensive medals change?
Yeah, so the defensive medals have doubled, essentially what you get, but also we now get 10% less offensive raid medals too. So it should balance out to be about the same,
I suppose.
Just now defense is going to be more involved. It's still, I don't know, it's not enough to make me care about it.
And the only thing we haven't addressed, I do appreciate the little badge on my main village that tells me how many attacks I have left. I think that is just one more quality of life feature that's going to pull some of the more casual players over to the Sky base and remind them to get those hits in.
Yeah, it'll be nice towards the end of the weekend. I know I was looking for it and I was wondering if it was broken because it doesn't show. It doesn't show if someone is attacking, and just we are so active on, like, we're really active Fridays. So I never really had a chance to even see it because it was always clashing swords, which is kind of annoying.
Funny, yeah.
So, but I don't know. It'll be nice on Sunday to look down and see, like, oh, hey, like you still have one. And I think in the future it would be kind of cool if it just, instead of attacks remaining, if it could indicate that you have or have not gotten the bonus hit yet.
Yeah.
Like maybe if it said you've
done. Those clashing swords are actually a great idea to encourage collaboration, though, because I'm much more likely to try and swoop in and capitalize on someone else's attack, or even better.
Oh, I hate that so much.
Yeah,
I know.
4% on, I'll just take that for you.
I know. Like, I know this is totally hypocritical too, but I know I said a minute ago that I love dropping like a jump and a rage to set up for the second attack, and then I also said that I wish the game would force more collaboration between clanmates, but it drives me nuts when someone like steals my awesome jump and rage, and then like,
oh no,
and then just like dominates a base.
So excited to do it.
And gets like 4,000 or 5,000 capital gold, and like that should have been mine, and it's all going to end up in the same place anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's just like,
I'll steal that setup. I'll definitely hop in and take the benefits of what you laid out there. But I'll write you a really nice message in the clan chat. I dedicate this X amount of gold to Rick for setting things up. It
doesn't help when someone's was like, oh, like, thanks for those spells, that was an awesome setup. Like, yeah, I know it was.
What do you think when you see someone 96% a base leave that 4%, and then
Oh,
use the rest of their attack somewhere else.
Yeah, I know, it's weird because
On Sunday. What if they do it on Sunday?
Yeah, like it's on Friday. It's whatever. Like I'll hop on with an alt and just take it just to clear it and make sure I get my bonus hit on.
Exactly.
And
Everybody needs a bonus hit,
It's really weird because like the game ranks you based on how much capital gold you have earned for that weekend.
Yeah.
So it feels like that puts you in conflict with, okay, like I'm gonna waste one of my attacks getting the last 100 capital gold and 4% on this base, and then like it doesn't matter because obviously all the capital gold is going back into the same capital anyway, and it doesn't really matter who does it. But like my pride is on the line too. I want to be at the top of that leaderboard.
Yeah. I've swallowed my pride long ago. So I steal a lot of those last ones just to get my attacks done. But let me run through the last, I think it's 10 or 11 bug fixes real quick, just to say we touched on them. And then we can talk about the next part of the update. Fixed troop AI issue with troops noticing a gap between walls and a cliff, making sure they see it. Fixed a deployment area issue with the Mega Tesla. Fixed the move all button so that your locked deck, when locked decorations are present, I guess there's a bug there. More accurate Super Dragon targeting. Fixed a bug causing the Forge's free crafting to be unintentionally affected by the Builder Boost perk, which I wish that still happened, I guess.
That's kind of bogus because
it looks like that was a bug,
Yeah, which is lame because they should definitely add that back into because with the other changes, with the other quality of life changes of now armies are free in a way that detracted value from the gold pass. So it would have been nice to leave a faster forge in to kind of replace that value in the gold pass. And it's minor and nitpicky probably, but I don't know, it is kind of annoying.
I agree with you. I think that'll be a future update, almost certainly, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
They want to reward the gold pass people down the road. Next item here is something we get posts about all the time: fixed builder sleeping while assigned to the forge or while upgrading his own builder hut. We've seen so many posts about erroneous builders asleep, so hopefully that's fixed. Placement of the destroyed blast bow to match the location of the building. I actually don't remember seeing that bug, but I've
never seen that one.
Yeah. Fixed the info screen of the capital heal spell to display the correct heal amount. Didn't know that was off. Fixed the info screen of the lightning spell to display the correct damage. Similarly, correctly showed the visit capital button for clans that are closed and have a private war log. Good to know. And then fixed an issue teleporting villagers when visiting the clan capital. They now hurtle over walls in an effort to avoid destruction if they can't find an alternate route to their target. Flee, little ones, flee!
Yeah, I don't think I saw it on the notes, but did you ever get locked into a capital where you couldn't back out and you had to force quit the app?
No.
How weird. It was, I forget what exactly triggered. I think if you were looking at the capital as a whole with all the different district maps, and you went to a build through the builder drop down, I think that locked you into that district, and you could hit the map button to back out a ton of times and it would never work. I got trapped in a district a lot and had to force quit my app. So hopefully that got fixed.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to save? We can go to home village changes or balance changes next.
So
they're both really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we can run through the capital balance changes because there's not a lot, and it's kind of minion DPS got a buff.
Yeah, we should run through these. You're right.
Yeah, so the minions at lower levels are going to have more. They're going to do more damage.
Yeah,
and
a lot more at the lower levels. Still a lot more at the high levels.
Yeah. A lot of this is aimed at lower, which is nice because the lower levels are what most people have right now.
Most people are low levels. Yeah.
Yeah, and the air defense speed was also dropped, and that was specifically to help minions at lower levels.
Yeah.
So
the
a lot of these
wizard buff to HP is massive.
Yeah. So when you combine the super wizard HP buff with the rocket artillery kind of nerf, now
decreased rocket artillery DPS.
Super Wiz will survive rocket artillery one shot at least.
Yeah, needed that desperately at the level we're at right now.
Yeah,
not enough troop space for the golem, but wish that giants and super wizards could work.
it's still dumb to send a whole bunch of super whiz directly at a rocket artillery, but if you do it now, they'll at least get one shot off.
Yeah.
The Flying Fortress got an HP buff because it kind of felt pretty weak at low levels, and it does.
As did the Golem.
And the Mountain Golem for the and that was
similar buffs. In fact,
yeah, we were told it was for the same reason. It's just it felt really weak for what it was at lower levels.
And interestingly enough, they got buffed the same amount at each level.
Yeah,
relative to each other.
Yeah, siege carts have an attack delay. They're a little slower now.
That's a bummer. Those are really good troops.
Because like super giants and siege carts were a real nice spam. Heal and rage spells both got a nerf. Like I've seen a lot of people say the heal is a little too weak now. We'll have to see. I'm
surprised that they nerfed anything really right now, offensively. But we'll see. I think they've proven over time that they can balance a game.
Yeah, and then it was kind of like a meaningless little fix, but I know they heal siege carts are now no longer affected by heal spells because you could had you ever seen it where because the siege carts once they're fully damaged they they park and their health drains, but if they were in a heal spell it just the attack would just last forever. So that's been fixed. It was never really a big deal, I guess, because if it was within range to shoot something, it was definitely within range to take damage and they'd still die. But I don't know. Yeah, that got fixed, and that is all of the capital changes.
Yep. The last thing there was the metal changes that we already talked about.
Right.
That covers the capital. What else? What do you want to go to next then? Home village or the balance changes first?
Let's just go through it all.
All right, let's just start with the home village, and then we'll do balance changes next. Because
cool.
I think the home village, we'll just start with the basics, right? What are the basics anymore? What is a farming army? Are there even farming armies anymore?
I know. So no army cost.
What?
It's huge.
I was kind of surprised that people are that excited over no army cost because I really don't see. It's not a big deal.
You're right. I've never even thought about what an army costs in ages, but still, it seems huge.
Does it? I mean, maybe it's just the way I farm. Because
have you ever done Goblin Knife?
Yeah, all the time. Like Town Hall 9, I love it.
Would you now? When you can just use dragons?
Yes, because Goblin Knife is great at getting DE. Without spending it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like that was just always my playstyle. Like I would do Goblin Knife at Town Hall 9 only, essentially, and then I'd barch everywhere else until Super Troops. And then it's sneaky mobs, or like I actually prefer sneaky barbs, but you use them nearly the same. And it's
I think those are still spends gems.
Yeah, those are still the fastest. It's still the fastest training troops, and that's what farming is. It's just attacking repeatedly. If you're the kind of guy who farms with full armies all the time, like this update's awesome for you. That's cool, but you're still not farming efficiently.
And just further to your point too. When I think Supercell realized no one spends gems on loot to buy an army ever. They spend gems on the time it takes to get to the next one.
Yeah,
to gem up that next army.
Yeah,
so I think it's a change that makes sense. It's been a long time since those costs were consequential.
Yeah, like I was kind of expecting Legends loot rebalancing around that too, because you get more elixir than gold at Legends, and
I've always do something.
I've always assumed it was because there's a much higher elixir cost. So I wouldn't be surprised if they address that in the future. This whole update,
I think they already did. I think that was part of this update, if I'm not mistaken. I think they adjusted legend loot to make gold and elixir even.
Was that in the patch notes and I missed it?
Must have been,
for it. And I've only done 2 Legends attacks today. I haven't paid attention, and
we're on.
I've been sitting on 20 million gold at the same time too. I never really look at loot.
Yeah, well, on the same topic as we're talking about elixir too, the clan castle is now an elixir building.
Yep, and it says elixir loot in Legend League has been reduced to match gold loot.
Oh, cool! That wasn't in the that was not in the original preview patch notes that we saw. Which is like what I always referenced, but I guess that makes sense. Cool.
Personally,
the clan
I hate this castle change. Like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Like clan Clan Castle using elixir is annoying because there's
it makes sense though.
The start of
it does.
Does it?
Yeah, and it does balance out the elixir cost.
It's troops.
Yeah, no, like the first days of every town hall are so elixir heavy because you have
I know, but I'm always
you have two spell factories, the army camps, and all the barracks. Like you're using a lot of elixir in the first few days. So it was nice to have a gold outlet.
I completely agree. That's why the clan castle is your top priority at almost every town hall, because it's something you could spend a bunch of your gold on.
Yeah, and it has a massive immediate effect too once you finish it. It's in extra spell space, extra troop space. It's nice.
Yeah, but now when you upgrade to a town hall, you have the clan castle and all the army camps and the laboratory to upgrade right away, and it's all elixir.
It's all
in the barracks. Too. Yeah, so it will be a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't get why too. And I mean, I guess like we're all getting more elixir now because we're not spending it on armies, but whatever. There's so much about this update. I just want to say like, oh, why? Like,
that one kind of made a little more sense to me, just because it is kind of like I think of it in the same way that I think of barracks and army camps already. It's something I think of in relation to my army.
Like, what bozo is sitting in Helsinki getting paid to consider Pekka HP at Town Hall 8?
Yeah.
What
what kind of
what are you doing with your
is that feedback
you're
seeing? We're pretty close to the community feedback here. Has anybody complained about Pekkas at Town Hall 8? I don't know.
No one's complained about anything. like all my Town Hall 8 complaints were like, it's all dragons and that's all it is, and it's been that way for years.
Yeah.
But like it's also, who cares, because you're Town Hall 8 for a lot less time and people rush through it, and it kind of sucks because I really liked Town Hall 8 back when I was back in my day, when Town Hall 8 was somewhat difficult.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like I just why all this stuff? Why?
Well, here's a really good one. My favorite one, I'm going to skip over the remove all functions from army training because that one's really simple. But the Super Troop Quick donation,
that's the
awesome.
best.
Yeah, like people have been asking asking for that one for years, and that one's really cool.
Finally, I am your stereotype. I'm a clan leader. I take super minions for war CCs, and I try to take sneaky goblins because I can donate and use those a little bit. Sometimes I'm having to take super wizards for a while, but I'm always taking it for the donation aspect. And now I never have to take super minions again.
Like, you definitely have been taking one for the team for that, because
I've never
you so
taken,
much.
Go ahead.
No, there's just so few offensive uses for super minions.
Yeah.
It's just
I used that Nikita style E-Drag attack. If you are familiar with that. If anyone wants to look it up, Itsuba did a video on it some time ago, but it uses 2 super minions to get the town hall a lot. And I used that attack only because I was boosting super minions, and I used it for a long time before I realized I don't even like it.
Yeah, I know it's kind of smart in a way too, because instead of buying them and waiting and cooking them, like literally everyone is just gonna do 1 gem donations on them forever. So like overall, I would love to see, when we never will, but I would love to see the stats for how much gems are spent on super minions now compared to what they have been for the last 2 years.
Oh, wouldn't you love to see some spending stats? Where people use gems. That's something we should demand, if anything. I'm super curious. How the player based on average is spending. Yeah.
What do you guys spend your gems mostly on?
Donations only. I mean, I haven't had anything to gem in. I haven't had anything to gem in.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys are max.
I'm being informed by someone that it's 201 days since the last Town Hall 14 content.
I'm not going to go through each individual scenery change, but it looks like we got our custom music back and some more keen placing on the airship and vote.
I know that was
everything else.
Was that me and you, Spencer, talking about that when Capital first dropped? That you were complaining about how the airship just like the airship and the forge are just overlapping, like all the
Doesn't that seem like it was a huge oversight on release? Right?
I don't know if it's an oversight. It's everything about the Capital feels like just
like an oversight.
Like just get it done and get it out.
It really bothered me when they released it, and it just felt so out of place. I wish the forge was a new building, and the airship was maybe with something with the boat, because the boat always told us it would bring us to new places. I thought they were going to incorporate it with the boat, but no, it's all these new buttons and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I like having the button separate like that. Now that you've put that out in the universe, that does seem like something that it's too late now, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Just quick shout out to the OGs. One of the balance changes is a change to water rendering to add subtle wave effects. I don't know if you guys remember at one point in time, Supercell had to remove a waterfall from the game because it was taking up too much computing power on phones. Yeah, that's the real OGs right there. We've gone from having to take effects out to adding more subtle effects. That's pretty cool. It's the future.
But,
all right, what do you guys think of these balance changes?
Okay, like so much. Who cares? So much.
I care. But I think the most controversial move on this part of the update was about the flags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? Also, like, who cares?
Someone has to, you know.
Let's talk about the Flame Flinger. It got its third or second rework since its release. What do you guys think about it?
And there's something that, like, okay, so this has been bugging me too, because no one's talked about it. Like if anyone, if you've seen it in videos mentioned, like let me know, because I haven't yet. But in the original patch notes, in the drafts, in our test war, the Flame Flinger did extra damage to walls, and that was not in the patch notes for the balance changes during the sneak peeks. It was not mentioned in the dev video, and so I went back and I asked the dev who talks to us, and I said, "Hey, is that still here?" And he goes, "No, it was probably just a mistake in the patch notes." So allegedly, the Flame Flinger should be doing extra damage to walls.
That would be cool.
And mistake in the patch notes, not that it wasn't released. It was released. It just does extra wall damage.
I mean, I can't confirm that right now, but I know that he did say, "Oh yeah," like, because I said, "Hey, like, what's the deal?"
Who is this nerf for? Who thought the Flame Flinger was too strong? Is that just because competitive play is using it so often?
I mean, I'm assuming they have stats that show like how often it's used. For ground armies, it's it's definitely replaced everything else. Like even the wall wrecker got a buff a while ago, and that didn't bring it back into any meta. Very, very niche uses for wall wreckers, but they're gone. And then like slammers,
log launcher's too similar.
Yeah, like log launchers is better in a lot of ways too. So it's been log launcher, siege barracks is kind of fallen out of fashion. But it still has good uses. But if you're gonna be funneling a side of a base, then the Flame Flinger is way better than the siege barracks, because it can still time delay your CC troops, and it does a lot more important damage other than clearing trash on the outside with Peck and Wiz. It's taking out defenses, and its range is massive. It can take out the town hall by itself, which is huge. Can
it still?
Yes.
I think the Flame Flinger combined with the mortar buff is going to foil a lot of attacks that weren't planned that well.
Like, I don't even know,
because I've definitely been guilty of dropping inside of a mortar range, and I think that those two combined are going to make mortars devastating to your Flame Flinger if you mess that up.
Yeah, I know. Like, I didn't actually look at the amount of shots it takes a Flame Flinger versus a mortar, and that might have been the reason for the change too. I know, looking at the mortar,
350 additional HP, and the fire DPS dropping as much as it has, I think that it's going to last another several shots.
Yeah, I know. The only significant difference I could find, like, it still takes 2 loons, including the drop damage. Like, it's like the Yeti is like a Yeti versus mortar is unaffected if you're using it to funnel. It's going to take a baby dragon 2 extra shots, but that's going to take that baby dragon a second and a half, or whatever. So also who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, it actually might make a meaningful difference versus the Flame Flinger, but I haven't looked at those numbers. I didn't really think about it, because if I see a mortar and I have a Flame Flinger, I avoid that mortar or try and take it out, and
And that's how you should. But I think this is going to be good to make sure that if you do make that mistake, it actually costs you. Because I think before just to you could save the attack, with an extra spell or something pretty easily.
If the reason was to just punish people who are already bad with flame flingers, I don't know if that makes sense to me, but I mean, who knows?
I mean, it's an indirect nerf that way, but
I know. I also looked at they buffed red bombs.
I was curious
they
about
buffed
that.
red bombs, and
pretty significant.
I have no idea. I have no idea
what
why.
What strategy is that going to hurt?
Like I looked at a lot of stuff. It's still the same amount of air defense. If you're looking at versus balloons, it's still the same amount of air defense shots and red bombs in whatever combo. If you're looking at healers, like nothing changed with how many air defense shots and red bombs it takes to kill healers. Healers have.
I have a pretty good theory for what's happening here, right? So let me just run through real quick. I'm just going to say what got buffed, what got nerfed, and then I'll tell you how I view this picture, right? So walls nerfed, archer tower nerf, X-bow nerf, inferno tower nerfed again, red bombs pretty substantial buff, mortar even more substantial buff, eagle artillery now set to 200 for all levels. Don't care. It seems higher, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a nerf at Town Hall 11, but it's a buff for everything else.
Slight nerf. Yeah. So P.E.K.K.A.'s buff, Sneaky Goblin nerf. Don't think that anyway. Giant buff, Flame Flinger big nerf, Super Wall Breakers neutral. I don't know what that is. Adjusted to match wall HP because of the wall nerf, so just connected to that. Bowlers got a buff. Valkyrie's got a buff also. Super Valkyrie's got a massive buff. Definitely want to come back to that.
Yeah,
Clone Spell, slight buff.
Spoiler alert, they're still pointless.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Healing Spell. Siege cards are immune. I get it. Okay. Slight nerf. And then for the Skeleton Spell, slight buff. So when I read all of this reminds me a lot of every single time a new Town Hall is coming out. I feel like they always give one last buff to the offenses to the previous Town Hall as the next one's coming out. And I think they just wanted to kind of make everything feel generally a little bit more viable. And then when Town Hall 15 drops, they don't have to go so far ahead of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of this is going to buff like ground attacks a little bit, but I don't know if it is.
I think it's enough combined to make most ground armies feel a little more viable. Generally,
but
I mean, and like most attacks. There's enough defensive nerf here to matter between all of them.
Yeah, I mean, there was still like a lot of those buffs were done at lower town halls. Like the P.E.K.K.A., the only levels affected are Town Hall 8 to 11 for P.E.K.K.A., and they all got 200 HP. And who cares? No one's using P.E.K.K.A.s there. Like go wipe, kinda, but there are always better attacks. Like. Town Hall 9, the skeleton spell got one extra skeleton. Who cares?
And it may be balanced around multiplayer too, with armies costing nothing now. They might anticipate people using more powerful armies on average. That's a tangent there that's connected.
All this feels like, what can we change that's not going to have any real effect to make it feel like we care about low levels? And I don't know, like. Once upon a time in Clash, when we would get balance changes like this, and all the time in Clash Royale for when I played, they would say, "Hey, we are buffing this for this specific reason." And man, I wish that would be because none of this stuff makes sense. Out of all of the balance changes, I could only find one significant breakpoint. And please, someone let me know in the comments or message me. Like, tell me I'm wrong or I missed something huge, please. But the only significant change I found was the Town Hall 10 clone spell went from 24 to 26 base, which gives you one extra loon. So one specific attack at Town Hall 10. In all the other balance changes, I see no point to.
Yeah. Like I said, I think just coming up on a new Town Hall, you have to do some balancing, especially at those lower levels with all the new toys coming out and everything else. But that's maybe me giving Supercell too much credit, because to your point, and I think the best point you made here is just we would really love to know why. We would love to get a little deeper there.
I know, like I'm not like I've never been the pour into the numbers guy and find these breakpoints. Like, and I tried and I couldn't come up with anything. Like, if someone's out there who knows, like, call me a clown. Like, let me know. Like, I want to learn. Like the most meaningless change that I did find though is the level 4 clone at Town Hall 11 goes from 27 to 28. Like what?
Right. I was thinking that too.
Why?
What is that?
Like the only what number of troop space is affected at 28 that's not at 27? Like healers, you can clone.
Right.
You can clone an extra healer now, but no one does that. And the other stupid thing is that Town Hall 11s get level 4 and 5 clones. So only in the beginning stages of Town Hall 11.
Yeah.
When you upgrade.
What is 7 troop space? Is that Valkyries?
Valkyries are 8. Nothing is 7.
Anything 7?
Yeah, nothing is 7.
Nothing 7. There's a lot of 6.
That was our last divisible number, I think.
Yeah, there's not
6. Yeah, there's always 6.
Yeah, there are 6s, 8s, and 9s, and none of those change. Like, I mean, if you're cloning, if you want to clone a ton of barbs or archers or goblins, but no one does that. Like, there's no, like, why was that changed? You know, and maybe it's setting up for something way down the line. I don't know. I don't have that much confidence in them.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's for something down the line. But I think the big takeaway, and if there's anything that we can if Darian, if you're listening, if anyone for Supercell is listening, let's just get a little more commentary behind the balance changes in the patch notes.
Yeah,
we'd love to know. Like, I think we want gem stats. You don't have to give us that. Like, I understand
typically,
why you wouldn't give us that.
Like in the past, I would say usually they do that.
Yeah.
Everything about this update kind of feels like everyone was sitting there in the last day of school, staring at the clock, ready for summer vacation, just wanting to get out of there. And there's a lot of really weird stuff that happened.
I think for like you said, as nothing of an update as it is, taken in its entirety, I think it still caught me off guard, and it left me feeling pretty positive about it.
I know. I'm definitely not the only one. Like, one of the sentiments I've been seeing a lot too is that most of this update was these like random balance changes like a year ago or 2 years ago. Like this amount of balance changes and bug fixes would have been tacked on to the end of the last sneak peek, and that's it. They wouldn't have been their own sneak, like a whole sneak peek of mostly bug fixes. Like that's not a sneak peek.
Yeah,
like I get it. Capital was huge, and Capital took a ton of your resources and a ton of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this whole update is disappointing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't 100% disagree with you. I think each thing on its own is difficult, but how could you say it's disappointing when Valkyries are increased 400 HP
oh my God.
at level 9 for Super Valkyries? Not only that, but the rage radius increased a half a tile. That's a full tile extra rage radius.
Have you purchased and used Super Valk since then?
Absolutely. Well, no, but I have ran a great deal of FCs, and I might bring it to CWL. I'm debating it. I need to get a little better with it still.
No,
but
if you can crack the code for using Super Valks, dude, go make a YouTube channel, and
if I can inspire anyone to cash in here, help me out. Here's what's working for me: is sprinkling them into my Queen Walk so that they make a rage that my Queen ends up under, and my healers then do too. So I've been doing different Valkyrie armies where I either try to steal the healers off my Queen, or take it off the Warden Walk, but they rate those healers, and then the healers stay up behind them, and it's pretty good synergy. But pathing
Super
is
Valks
hard with Valkyries.
Super Valks were a really interesting idea that has not worked out at all. It
just comes down to how bad Valkyrie.
It's a fun idea. You
have to funnel so much.
Yeah, and then they're always going to drop that rage spell not where you need it at all. I know. It would be nice
with the healers behind them. It works pretty good. There's potential there.
If you are lucky enough to where the rest of your troops are pathing that way, it's way too much luck that you need for that rage to be effective.
Well, when the healers are on the Valkyries, the rage usually is utilized pretty well, but that means your Valkyries are dying. So
I don't know.
That's hard too.
I think they just need to drop them as a concept and do something else, or you really switch up what they do.
Yeah, maybe a complete rework would be cool.
Yeah, just if it instead of just dropping the rage on death, if it like chucked it towards the a group of troops, kind of the way the Warden AI works, I think that would be really strong.
I think they're just not tanky enough.
Yeah,
ultimately,
like one of the ideas I've seen.
You can't put them in a ground army.
Yeah, like I've seen an idea where instead of dropping it, it gives you the tiny rage into your, back into your troop queue for you to use somewhere. That feels too powerful, but I don't know. Like,
I like the direction they're nudging them in, where they're making them a little bit tankier and a little bit slower. And I think over time for Valkyries, that's got a lot of potential, because if they keep getting tankier and slower, then I think they get, at some point, you might use them over a giant or a golem in some kind of ground army like that.
20 space is huge for something that's going to give you a random, potentially useless spell, maybe.
Yeah, after I really dug in on the Valkyries and I started comparing their HP to other units at similar housing space, it's hard to justify.
Yeah,
they don't put out that much damage either.
It's not a great tank. It doesn't do a lot of damage. The rage spell is cool. It's a cool concept, and sometimes it can work out. I know, like we did a test war on the dev build, and so many people were just like, Valks are still dumb. Like this didn't help them. So I don't know. Like I imagine we see more Valk changes at some point in the future, but or just abandon them. Just give it up. Like it's okay.
It piqued my interest with tanky Valks. I think that tanky Valks have if you rework them to be that way, keep making them slower. I don't care. But I think that troop has a unique place in the meta that would be potentially useful, because you don't have that kind of tankier frontline ground unit that would do damage that way.
I don't know.
I would compare them to like Inferno Drags that way, where those have a place in the meta. They're a little tankier. They get out in front of the other air troops a little bit, But I digress. Hopefully, someone cracks the code and we end up next week or a week after talking about the new Super Valk army that has swept CWL.
Where's the leak, ma'am? Someone asked. There has
been. Any good comments down there? Let's hop into the questions.
Like, there's been stuff popping up on the leak sub that I don't know about it, so I won't comment or can't. But like all these questions are like, what's going on? What is this? Here's some random people being
I try
racist.
To respond to most of them. Yeah, I deleted those.
All right, well, let's run through a few questions for the next, what do you guys say, 10 more minutes?
Archer Queen
and then
feet.
We'll call it a night.
There's actually
so tired
no
of
questions.
I'm so tired of seeing
so
Archer Queen feet stuff.
Yeah, let's not spend too much time on our feet,
Any thoughts on fishing issues? Yes, a million thoughts.
Let's shout out that top post. There was a huge post about that recently.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's been popular to talk about it in the last few days. Like overall, so we did harp on fishing really hard at January, February.
Yep.
And
we got a whole episode or two on it.
Yeah. Darian came back and he's like, "Hey, like we're looking into it. We're gonna address it. We're gonna make changes." And then the amount of posts about fishing since then have really dropped off. But like we don't have any special insight. I don't know if that is because changes have been made that are effective. I don't know if it's just the nature of Reddit. It hasn't been popular to talk about, so there's going to be fewer posts. I don't know.
But you're right. We have definitely seen less mod mail about it. It's definitely since they said they were addressing it. Maybe they just quit punishing. Maybe they just said they were doing too much.
I don't like.
Dialed the whole program back, but
I don't know how we can tell if. Because like we have to make deductions based on like who's posting what on Reddit. And that's not that's useless insight. Essentially, I know like there's definitely been a lot less posts about it. But I don't know. It's something that I know. Like eventually, I would love to have Darian on this, and I know fishing will be topic number 1.
TH31 Inferno. Is that what I lost here? Yep, something like that. He says, Hog Rider! You guys want to give me your best Hog Rider?
That was really good. Yeah. I don't know if it's as good as Darian's, but that was incredible.
Sceneries for Builder Hall and skins for Battle Machine.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that.
I
would be great.
I'd be utterly shocked if that happens before the builder base revamp. But
I don't think that they'll do that because they know we hate builder base.
Yeah, like
you know,
if
they also don't want to put resources in it.
Yeah.
I know. So, sometime after Town Hall 15, they said they were going to do a significant rework of builder base, and no details on what that's going to entail. But if that happens, big if that happens, and if it is successful, and if people enjoy it, 1,000% we're going to see builder hall scenery and skins. Until then, no, because it's clearly a flop in a lot of ways, and they've now actually admitted it, which is kind of cool. They said they're going to address it, so we'll see. But we'll see. Yeah, after that point, if they do it well and if they pull it off, we'll definitely see sceneries and skins for it. Probably not gold pass skins, I would think, at least to start. Yeah. I can see like a $2.99 battle machine skin.
I think if they did the sceneries, I wouldn't get them.
No,
I've got all the sceneries
I would
for the
buy
main
them
village.
all.
I don't think I'll start on them. I just don't think.
I would.
It's hard.
Like
it's hard to make that decision.
I would expect capital stuff before builder hall stuff.
That would be sweet, dude. I know. Spencer said something earlier about feeling like the capital is super different from the main base. But I gotta say, I love that design. I think it looks so good, and I hope they start bringing some of that down. Yeah, especially the way the troops are all 3D there.
Capital looks so good. Capital looks really. I know.
Yeah,
it was
impressive.
Yeah, one of Darian's interview, I know he said like they pulled like all their art guys to do art on the Capitol, and there's just like one guy left, or guy or gal, I don't know, one individual who is working on skins, and I think the skins are pretty cool. I know a lot of people aren't too happy with the beach skins. I think they're all fine, and I'm really glad and really annoyed with all the Archer Queen skin stuff, because I know we got a peek at it a long time ago in one of the dev builds, kind of on accident, and I was like, I was just like, beach Archer Queen subreddit is going to be trash for so long that month.
Yeah. And I'm still using my randomizers right now, but I think I'm going to switch over to the beach party for at least a little bit.
Like the scenery randomizer is crazy. Like every single attack you get a new one. Every time you go to the builder base and come back, you get a new one. It's nuts that I never had skin randomizers on, but like does it randomize the skins that often too?
Yeah, it randomizes your skins for every attack.
Oh wow, I always kind of figured it would be every time you log on, but like with the sceneries, it's jarring. And
I don't have it activated.
There's sceneries I
realize there's a lot of sceneries I don't like. Like I don't like shadow scenery. I don't want that one. I wish I could turn that one off the random.
I like it,
but one of those. All right, holiday long 5524 has been active down here. Supercell shill, that one says go Supercell when it's good. What else we got?
Yeah, there's not much in the comments.
They're unhappy about something.
Like welcome to Reddit.
Yeah,
I'm unhappy about a lot of stuff too. Like I always feel like I hate Reddit the most in a lot of ways and in a lot of times. But also, I love you guys.
Oh yeah, Reddit loves you. No one more than Lightyear 18 who wants me to stop interrupting you. So, I'll downvote that one because I got stuff to say too.
We are bad about that sometimes too.
I know. I'm working on it. I'm terrible.
No, you guys are good.
We'll figure it out. All righty. Well, I think that about covers everything we sat down for here.
Yep.
You guys have any shout outs? Anything else you guys want to hit before we call it?
I just saw Trample posted a video like an hour ago as we started.
Yeah, I know. I got the notification. I was texting him.
But that's
you guys were talking. Trample put out a Super Bowler video, which is good because I've said it a bunch of times on the podcast. I've been trying to learn Super Bowlers and failing miserably constantly. Ooh. So hopefully I can learn something from him.
Shout out Trample, friend of the show. Trample damage.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I do it every month, every 2 weeks. But there's always a ton of good. There's a lot of good Clash podcast content out there. Check it out. There's a link in the sidebar to direct you to every one that I know of, at least. If you guys know stuff I missed, there really is something for everyone. There's a lot of good Clash podcasts. One of the ones I've been listening to the backlog of is Clash Living. He kind of takes a look, and he's been like documenting his journey up through the town halls and talking about each level and what you need to do at each level. So if you're newer to the game,
Ooh.
and do enjoy Clash audio, check out Clash Living. I don't think I've shouted him out yet, and I do enjoy his show. I saw Catfish in the comments. Guys, check out Clash in Traffic. That's one of my favorites. And Clash Tips is my other favorite. We're gonna be talking with Tip Dog here fairly soon.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Anyway, that's it for me. What do you guys got?
Spencer?
I have nothing. I'll hand it over to you, Mac.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody that's still here hanging out with us live. How many are in the room right now? Looks like we've still got 60 hanging out. So Appreciate you guys being here and being part of the community. We'll be back here again in another couple of weeks. And until then, happy clashing.
Oh, we probably have
one more thing.
Yeah, we probably have a good guest. We should, as long as nothing in the schedule changes. I've been talking to Clash with Eric. And
big name drop right there.
I know. So, that's going to be the 15th that we are planning on talking with him, unless of course his schedule changes. I know he's busy and a lot more involved in the Clash world, but we did talk to him, and he should be here hopefully in 2 weeks. So the same as we did with Judo, we'll make a post a little bit in advance to solicit questions from you guys that we can ask him, and then it should be a good one. So anyway, that's about it. Thanks for joining us.
All right, appreciate you, everybody. Cheers.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you in 2 weeks.